What's the biggest family betrayal you've ever experienced? For me, it started at my grandmother's funeral. I was extremely close to her. Closer than anyone else in my family, honestly. She practically raised me. When my parents were too busy working, it was Grandma who picked me up from school. When I had breakups, she sat with me in her kitchen, pouring tea and telling me stories about how she survived her own heartbreaks. She was the one who taught me how to cook her famous apple pie, how to fix a loose button, even how to stand tall when people underestimated me. She wasn't just my grandmother. She was my best friend. So when she passed away, I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. I cried for days. But I also expected that at least the rest of my family would share the grief. That we'd come together. I was wrong. A week later, we gathered for the will reading. My parents were there, along with my aunt, my uncle, and all my cousins. The air felt heavy, not just with grief, but with tension. Everyone was dressed in black, but their eyes weren't sad, they were calculating. It was like sitting at a poker table. I wasn't expecting much. Maybe she'd leave me a necklace, or one of her cookbooks, something sentimental. That would have been more than enough for me. But then the lawyer opened the envelope, cleared his throat, and started reading. And in that quiet room, he announced that my grandmother had left me, her house. Her actual house. The place we all grew up visiting on holidays. The house with the creaky staircase, the garden where we played as kids, the dining room where every Thanksgiving was held. The silence after those words was suffocating. Then, all at once, everyone exploded. My aunt shot out of her chair, pointing at me. That's not fair. She was old, she didn't know what she was doing. My uncle slammed his hand on the table, she must have been manipulated. My cousin, the one who always bragged about being Grandma's favorite, turned red, muttered something under her breath, and stormed out, slamming the door so hard the wall shook. My parents just sat there in shock. My dad stared at the floor, my mom wrung her hands, whispering, "This doesn't make sense." Then the lawyer kept reading. Grandma had left a handwritten letter. He unfolded it carefully and read aloud. "I am leaving the house to the only person who was truly there for me. The one who visited when I was sick. The one who cooked with me every Sunday. The one who didn't treat me like a burden. That person is my granddaughter, my name." My throat closed up. Tears welled in my eyes. For me, it wasn't about the house. It was about being seen. It was about knowing she noticed how much I loved her. But the rest of my family didn't see it that way. The will hadn't even finished being read before accusations started flying. My aunt glared at me. "You manipulated her. You spent all that time with her just to get this house." My cousin texted me later that night in all caps, "You stole from the family." Even my own parents sat me down and begged me to just split it to keep the peace. They told me I didn't need the house, that I should think of the family unity. For weeks, it was a nightmare. My phone blew up with angry messages. My aunt threatened to take me to court. My cousin made a Facebook post about me, painting me as some greedy granddaughter who took advantage of an old woman. Relatives I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly messaged me, calling me selfish. And I'll admit, I started to doubt myself. I lay awake at night staring at the ceiling, wondering, did I do something wrong? Should I just give it up? Is keeping the house worth losing my family? The breaking point came one evening when my uncle actually showed up at the house uninvited. He stood on the porch demanding the keys, yelling that the house was family property. I had to threaten to call the police before he finally left, cursing at me all the way down the street. I broke down crying after that. I felt completely alone. Then something happened that changed everything. A few days later, I was cleaning out the kitchen and pulled one of Grandma's old recipe books off the shelf. It was the one we always used for apple pie. When I opened it, a folded piece of paper fell out. It was another letter. In her handwriting. Addressed to me. "If they turn against you, let them. I know what I saw. You were the one who cared. Don't let guilt take away what you deserve. Live in this house, make it yours, and remember that I loved you enough to give you a home." I sat on the kitchen floor sobbing. That letter gave me the strength I needed. She had anticipated this. She knew the family would turn against me. And she wanted me to stand firm. So I did. I blocked my cousin after one last nasty message. I told my aunt and uncle to stop contacting me unless it was through a lawyer. And I told my parents, if you can't respect her wishes, then you can't respect me either. It was brutal. The silence that followed was worse than any fight. But slowly, things started to shift. Some relatives stopped bothering me. A few even admitted they understood. One of my cousins, not the angry one, quietly messaged me, "Grandma made the right choice. Don't let them tear you down." And me? I started to make the house my own. I painted the walls, fixed the garden, and every time I walked up that creaky staircase, I felt her presence. Not in a haunting way, in a comforting way. Like she was proud of me for standing up for myself at last. My family still gossips, still throws shade online. But you know what? I don't care anymore. Because in the end, my grandmother saw me for who I truly was. She chose me. Not because I was perfect, but because I was there. And I realized something huge. Her last gift wasn't just the house. It was the truth. The truth about who really cared, and who only cared about what they could get. So yeah. That was my biggest family betrayal. But it was also my biggest lesson. Sometimes the people who say family is everything are the first ones to betray you. And sometimes, the only person you really need to honor is the one who always honored you.